Bucs Nation! I'm Unger to the Max, coming at you with today's episode of the Sports Room Talk Show. A salute to you. Now, before we get going, if you haven't done so already, make sure you punch that subscribe button like a UFC fighter, hit the like button with the Judas effect, courtesy of Chris Jericho, and deliver a curb stomp to the notification bell, courtesy of the World Heavyweight Champion, Seth freaking Rollins. So, there's not as much discussion about this year, but there have been talks about, can the Kansas City Chiefs go undefeated? And my answer to that question is no. I don't think the Chiefs are going undefeated this season. I think they are going to lose a minimum of 4 games this season. I'm not saying the Chiefs are going to completely fall off the map and, go 6-11 or something crazy like that. No, they're still going to be a top contender. They're still going to be in the Super Bowl discussion. But I think they are going to lose 4 games this season. The first one is Week 2 at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Next one is Week 11 against the Philadelphia Eagles. Next one is Week 14 against the Buffalo Bills. And the final one is Week 17 against the Cincinnati Bengals. And there's a sneaky game that I think the Chiefs could lose, and that's Week 13 at the Green Bay Packers. So I think the Chiefs could lose up to 5 games this season. I know that's a bit crazy, but think about how stacked the AFC is. And because you've got teams like the Baltimore Ravens, Pittsburgh Steelers, yes, I'm including the Steelers in the discussion, and the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm not ready to put the Cleveland Browns in the discussion yet because the Browns are way too inconsistent, and I need to see a large sample size from Deshaun Watson. Then you've got the AFC East with the Buffalo Bills, Miami Dolphins, if Tua Tagovailoa can actually stay healthy, and the New York Jets. I'm not including the New England Patriots because I don't trust Mac Jones, even with Bill O'Brien. And then in the AFC West, you've got the Chiefs and you've got the LA Chargers. And Russell Wilson should have a bounce-back season with Sean Payton as his head coach. And Jimmy Garoppolo has had success as a quarterback, so maybe he'll do well with Josh McDaniels as his head coach. But, yeah, so the AFC is loaded. And, I didn't even mention the AFC South. You've got the likes of the Jacksonville Jaguars there. That's basically it. Even though the Tennessee Titans just added DeAndre Hopkins, I still don't think the Titans are really going to turn into anything special. I just don't trust Ryan Tannehill. And, yeah, they have Derrick Henry and DeAndre Hopkins. That's not enough, in my opinion. But it is an upgrade for the Titans. I will say that. But overall, they don't have enough. And Indianapolis and Houston, no, they're still a couple years away. But think about all the teams I just mentioned. Again, you've got Cincinnati, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Jacksonville, the Chargers, Broncos, Bills, Dolphins, Jets. That's 9 teams right there. That's a lot. So, yeah, the Kansas City Chiefs are kind of controlling the AFC with an iron fist. But at the same time, I don't know if there's as much separation between them and the rest of the AFC as everybody thinks there is. Like the Cincinnati Bengals, every time Joe Burrow has played Patrick Mahomes in the regular season, Joe Burrow has won. And Joe Burrow went into Arrowhead Stadium just like 2 years ago and beat Patrick Mahomes in the AFC Championship to get to the Super Bowl. And last year, Burrow nearly did it again. But the Chiefs made the plays at the end and the Bengals didn't. However, you can't deny that the referees played a huge factor in deciding the outcome of that game. You cannot deny that. I'm not saying that the Chiefs won because of ref ball, but by the same token, you can't tell me that the referees just had a huge part in deciding the outcome of that game. So, yes, I think the Chiefs are going to lose at least 4 games this season. At the Jaguars, home against the Eagles, maybe at the Packers, home against the Bills, and home against the Bengals. So, at most, I think the Chiefs are going to lose 5 games this season. Which, if that happens, I think that allows the Cincinnati Bengals to capture the number 1 seed in the AFC. Which, if you can get the AFC Championship game out of Arrowhead Stadium, that could tilt the balance and allow the Bengals to get back to the Super Bowl. Which I think that's a real possibility. Because the Bengals have Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. That's a really good group of skill position players. Which, not to discredit the quarterbacks, but I value the skill position players more than the quarterbacks. Because think about this. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, Aaron Rodgers is back with the Green Bay Packers and Davante Adams is back with the Green Bay Packers. I know in reality, Davante Adams is with the Las Vegas Raiders and Aaron Rodgers is with the New York Jets, which I will address the New York Jets later in this video. But for the sake of this hypothetical, I'm going to put Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams back on the Green Bay Packers. So let's say the Packers are playing the Denver Broncos, okay? In Super Bowl 59. Again, this is just a hypothetical. Do I think the Packers and Broncos are actually going to play each other in Super Bowl 59 a year from now? No. Again, this is just hypothetical, so just play along with me, all right? So, it's Packers, Broncos, Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans. I know, I'm jumping ahead of season, but just go with me, all right? Go with me. Aaron Rodgers throws the ball to Davante Adams on a play that was designed for like a 5-yard route, and the play ends up turning into like a 25-yard gain. Who made that play? Was it Aaron Rodgers or was it Davante Adams? It was Davante Adams because, again, the play was designed to be a 5-yard route like this, and Davante Adams said, no, I'm going to turn it into a 25-yard gain. So that was all Davante. And yet, all the praise is going to be, did you see the play by Aaron Rodgers? Blah, 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 blah. I do not get it. Why did the quarterbacks get so much credit for the plays when it should be the skill position players getting a bigger slice of the credit? I do not get it. I'm not going to address this whole running back situation, but Saquon Barkley and the other guys who are complaining about their contracts, they have a great point. But, Saquon has the best point because he basically was the New York Giants offense last year. But that's all I want to say about that. But, yeah. It makes no sense. Why do the skill position players get more credit, or get less credit, I should say, than the quarterbacks? I get it. Aaron Rodgers, great quarterback. Patrick Mahomes, great quarterback. Josh Allen, great quarterback. Joe Burrow, great quarterback. Jalen Hurts, great quarterback. Justin Herbert, great quarterback. Trevor Lawrence, great quarterback. Lamar Jackson has the potential to be a great quarterback. I would say he's not quite there yet. But my point is, yes, we have all these great quarterbacks. Most of them are in the AFC. The only one I mentioned from the NFC is Jalen Hurts. Don't come at me and say Dak Prescott is a great quarterback, because I'm sorry, but he's not. he's above average, and he has the potential to be great, but he's not there yet. Yeah. Plus, I don't trust the Dallas Cowboys at all. Anything they will screw up, or anything they can screw up, they will screw up. It's just a matter of time before they do. But think about it. Think of all the quarterbacks I just mentioned. What's a commonality between them? They all have great skill position players. It doesn't matter if they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't matter how many skill positions they have. They all have great skill position players. For example, Patrick Mahomes has Travis Kelce, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Joe Mixon, Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler, Mike Williams, Josh Allen, Dawson Knox, Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis, Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert. I could keep going. Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne. But I don't need to keep going. My point remains the same. As great as these quarterbacks are, I think it's the skill position players that make them the great quarterbacks they are. So, the skill position players, wide receivers, running backs, tight ends, they should be getting more credit. It's always the quarterbacks winning MVP, Super Bowl MVP. And yeah, we had Cooper Kupp win Super Bowl MVP just a couple years ago, but in general, it's the quarterbacks. Patrick Mahomes won Super Bowl MVP last year. I think Brady won Super Bowl MVP when the Buccaneers won the Super Bowl. Mahomes won Super Bowl MVP the year before that. I could keep going. But my point remains the same, and I'm not going to stop saying it. The skill position players need to get more credit for what they do for their quarterbacks. So, as for the New York Jets, you didn't think I was going to get back to that now, did you? Everybody's talking about, is it Super Bowl or bust for the New York Jets? No, nobody should be talking about that. Yes, I know, they got Aaron Rodgers, so it makes sense why that discussion is happening. But no, I don't think that discussion should be happening, because I would say that in the AFC, the New York Jets are the 6th best team. I would put the Chiefs over them. I would put the Cincinnati Bengals over them. I would put the Baltimore Ravens over them. I would put the Jacksonville Jaguars over them. For right now, until I see week 1, I would say the Buffalo Bills are above the New York Jets. And, yeah. So, I would even consider putting the LA Chargers above the New York Jets. I said I would consider it. I did not say I would. I would also consider putting the Pittsburgh Steelers ahead of the New York Jets. I'm not going to, but I think the Steelers need to be in that discussion. The Cleveland Browns, no, we don't belong in that discussion to be ahead of the New York Jets. Not right now. I get it. We have another season under our belt. There's no distractions with the suspensions or anything like that. But the Browns are so inconsistent. When they get high expectations placed on them, what do? Boo! And fall flat on their face. And when you're not expecting them to do anything, they somehow pull a playoff run out of their ass. Look at 2020. So, the Browns are just too inconsistent for me to consider putting them ahead of the New York Jets. But as of right now, I would say the Kansas City Chiefs, Cincinnati Bengals, Jacksonville Jaguars, Baltimore Ravens, Buffalo Bills are all ahead of the New York Jets for right now. So that's going to do it for this week's episode. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next time.